This person writes, what are some of the best ways to improve communication in a relationship? Understanding and awareness to start. So awareness of how the other person operates. So it's like women and men operate in different ways as far as how they communicate. Understand that women often communicate indirectly, and so they're going to kind of hint, and they want you to basically figure that out, and they basically sometimes assume that you do figure it out, when guys are just thinking basically very straightforward, very direct. And they don't often talk indirectly like that. So that's another communication model. Also understanding, what would really solve this problem in the other person, not saying what would solve it in me, because oftentimes what I see is like women will often try to solve like problems in the relationship by acting very like loving. And even though that can be very useful and very, very good, it's like if they don't know that guys really value respect, sometimes even more than love. And I personally think that it's kind of the same. Love and respect are maybe the same thing, but it's just interpreted in different ways. It's almost like a different form of it. But it's like guys typically value respect as, some of their highest value. So understand that. And so it's like from a woman's perspective, she needs to really solve the problems and make him feel respected. And from the guy's perspective, sometimes he needs to basically eliminate that respect aspect and make her feel loved. Also, communication comes from understanding on what the other person is seeking, like what they need to feel. And so just like, this concept with it's called the 3 C's of masculinity and the 3 U's of femininity. That'll probably cover about 80% of all the problems. There are some overlaps with it. It's like, especially with like the control aspect. But it is such a good guide and reference point to figure out what the other person, feminine or masculine, is feeling. So 3 C's of masculinity: being controlled, being criticized, and when the woman's closed off. Those are the biggest pain points. And so basically reference the problems that are happening to those things. If you can reference those things, sometimes you can figure out and get to the root of the problem. When you can get to the root of the problem, then it's like, well, now I know how to act. I know how to, make him feel good in ways that he doesn't feel those pain points. And basically I can make him feel respected in that area. From her perspective, 3 U's, being unseen, not being understood, and unsafe. And so it's like same thing. It's like, well, her tests, and when she talks indirectly, almost all the cases are those 3 things, or her trying to find out like a truth. And so it's like you can kind of trace what she's doing based on what she wants to feel in those categories. Again, I'm not saying, it's tough for me to even find a gap in that. If you found any kind of gaps, post them in the comment below. But it's like, this is really, really effective. And I'm not saying that, women don't want to be controlled, criticized, or when the guy's closed off, and then vice versa as well. It's like everyone has these things because everyone has elements of masculinity and femininity. The thing is, it's like there is usually a dominant one in each person, and you just have to understand that. Let's see, more stuff. So building trust. And so sometimes it's like we need to trust the other person in order to communicate truthfully. And so we have to know that the other person isn't going to use our insecurities or our vulnerabilities against us. And so that trust is a big safety factor as far as communication. Another one is just assertiveness. So it's like having the guts to actually say what you mean. And that's a big one, because oftentimes what people will do, they'll feel a certain way, and because they want to be polite or they don't want to hurt the other person's feelings, well, what they do is they just let it go. And so it's like you have to be assertive in that sense. It's like, okay, this is what I feel, and by me communicating this, it's not going to upset the other person. It's really going to benefit our relationship. And sometimes the most effective way to do that is make it about you, not about them hurting you in some way. So it's not like, oh, you did this and that makes me feel this way. That comes across as like a combative, attacking thing. You did this, versus, hey, I'm trying to figure this out because, I'm making this stuff in my mind. I know you care about me, but it's just like, again, I'm just kind of like hallucinating with these things and don't know why I'm feeling this way. And it's just like, well, I just wanted your help in kind of understanding that. because it's like when you do this, I just feel this certain way, and I'm just trying to figure that out. Yeah, so you make it about you totally. It's about you. You basically bring up the perception that, hey, I'm just making this up in my mind. I know you care about me. And so it's a non-combative way to communicate. So just off the top of my head, those are some of the ways that will really improve your communication. And communication is so important in relationships. It's one of the most important things you can do.